Melbourne singer-songwriter Jason Vorherr has spent decades immersed in the Australian music industry as both a respected touring musician and an emerging voice in the Australian storytelling songwriting. Best known as the long-time bass guitarist for Australian music legend Darryl Braithwaite, Jason has performed on stages across Australia and internationally. Throughout his career, he has shared stages and collaborated with iconic Australian artists, including Glenn Shorrock, Russell Morris, Brian Cadd, and Jack Jones. Talk about luminaries, or luminaries, sorry. As a solo artist, Jason brings a distinctly Australian voice to his songwriting. His songs capture snapshots of everyday life, suburban streets, ordinary heroes, and the humour and resilience found in Australian communities. Blending country, folk and classic pop influences, his music continues the proud tradition of Australian narrative songwriting. A perfect example of Jason's impressive songwriting skills is his latest release entitled simply Arnold, which I played a moment ago, that tells an amazing story about an incredible Aussie, Arnold Dix, who played a pivotal role in the dramatic 2023 rescue of 41 workers trapped in a collapsed tunnel in the Himalayas. Based in Melbourne's Dandenong Ranges, Jason continues to write, record and perform music that celebrates real stories about real people. I'm delighted to have Jason standing by on the phone waiting to have a chat with me. So let's bring him on air without any further delay. Hello, Jason. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks, Harry. And gee, thank you so much for that wonderful intro.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm known for my great intros, mate. You ask anyone.
Excellent.
Okay, look, it is great to have you on the show. I've never had a chance to interview you before, and I welcome this opportunity that I've got today, so I'm really looking forward to it. And it is great to have you on the show, so, I hope we can do this again sometime. But
no worries.
For now, tell us the story in your own words behind Arnold. I mean, what a great story it is. But what inspired you to write it?
Thanks for the question, Harry. Well, I write a lot of songs about my local area where I live.
Right.
And I released an album in 2022 called Living in the Suburbs. And a lot of the songs were all about the local area where I'm from, and which I live out in... out in Upwey, Victoria.
Okay, yeah.
Out near Puffenbilly there.
Yep.
And,
know it well.
anyway, a lot of people around here are aware of my Upwey. I've got a song titled Upwey, and a lot of the people around here know about it. And I was doing a gig in the local Upwey RSL, and a gentleman came up to me during my break, and he said, you ought to write a song about Arnold Dix, because he's a local. He lives in Mombolk. And
Okay.
I said, who's Arnold Dix? I'd never heard of the guy.
Yeah.
And he said, well, he was featured in a Australian Story documentary on the ABC. He goes, go home and have a look at that. And then, he's a gentleman who you might want to think about, writing a song about a local figure. So I went home and I watched the documentary on the ABC Story, and I was just amazed by this man. For all the things that he's accomplished in his life, and at the heart of he's just a wonderful, down-to-earth, gentle soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, every day on the news we're presented with people, and they come across in a negative manner, and all we're hearing about is negative news. So I thought, wouldn't it be a nice thing to sort of shine a light on some positivity? So that was the main inspiration behind the song. But so I pretty much based the song on that Australian Story episode, which sort of mentions his life and the things, he started off as a barrister, but then he was also an engineer and a geologist.
Wow.
And that led him to become an expert in the tunneling world.
Okay.
And so what would happen is, like, all the great disasters in the world, I'm talking about like 9/11 and things like that, he was actually asked to go over there to inspect the tunnels under the World Trade Center and sort of sort of find out how the people escaped, and so that was his world. That he found his true calling in life, which was to help out in that way, and so that's what led him to get asked to go and help with the rescue of these trapped miners. And yeah, so it was quite fascinating, and I thought, geez, it's a different sort of subject to write a song about, but I did send him the song when I finished it. I didn't know Arnold. I sent him the song on Facebook, and I was kind of not sure what his reaction was going to be, but he was excited about the song so much that he wanted to be involved in the production and the film clip and everything. So it's been a wonderful journey.
Absolutely, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, it's no surprise, but it is nice to hear that. He was very, very receptive in a positive way. About a song about him, essentially. Yeah.
And, well, he had all these ideas that I didn't think about. He said, I think we need a choir in the last chorus. And I'm going, a choir? I didn't even think about that. So he enlisted we got the local community choir involved, and he's the sort of guy that brings people together.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, I don't want to name drop, but another artist that I'm very fond of, and I play a lot of his stuff, is I don't know if you've heard of him, Matt Scullion.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He writes.
Yeah,
he writes much in the same vein as this song that you've written about Arnold. He digs up these Australian stories. For example, this kid that rode a horse for 6 weeks from some country town in Victoria all the way up to Sydney because he wanted to be there for the opening of the bridge. When it was open, it could have been more. Could have been 6+ weeks anyway, and and people were coming out along the way, and they were feeding him, and they were putting him up for the night, and feeding his horse, all sorts of stuff. It's just a great story, and I don't want to drag on about it too much, but it strikes me that the stuff that he writes is in the same vein as what you've written here. And it's important, is the point I'm trying to make, because these stories don't see the light of day unless people like you put them out in the public vein.
Exactly. Yeah. I've had people contact me that didn't know. Well, I didn't know anything about Arnold, and I've had people who have thanked me for educating them.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous. I just think it's a wonderful thing. And you're right. Like through the power of music. See, look, you just telling me about Matt Scullion's song. I didn't know anything about this young guy on a horse, so I might go and look that up now. So there's these, like you said, these wonderful stories that more people need to know, and I guess delivering it in a musical sense is a great way to do that.
Yeah. I agree, and I recommend go and have a look at Matt Scullion, because he's written several songs like that, including one about the first Aboriginal cricket team that went over to England.
Wow.
In 1894 or something like that. And that's another amazing story, but I won't labour on about it. But yeah, he's worth checking out. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, and you seem to be. He digs. I don't know where he gets it from, but speaking to him, it's much the same thing. Like people in his audience, a guy will come up and mention something about someone that he's never heard of, and he'll go and research that and then write a song about it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Which is much the same as what you've done here with Arnold. Yeah. So look, what I'm saying is good stuff. Great job.
Thank you.
And keep it up. I mean, any time you come across a story like that you can put into music. I mean, I'm no songwriter, right? And I'm in awe of people that can take a story and put it into a 3 or 4 minute song. I reckon that's an enviable talent to have. And I really am awestruck by anyone who can do that and do it well, like in your case,
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, and you're obviously a really good musician too. So, and you're a bass player. Bass players are gold plated as far as I'm concerned. They're just a good one is so hard to come by. In my experience.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I started on the bass guitar, and because it looked like the easy instrument to learn, but I soon realised, well, there's a role that you play in a band,
Yeah.
and I think it's all about understanding that role.
Yes.
And the guitar players are the ones that seem to get all the attention and all the and all the plaudits and the applause, but they would be nothing without that bass player holding it down for them. So I'm a big bass guitar fan myself.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I've learnt the most out of playing bass guitar, playing country music, believe it or not, because
really? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems country music, you would think that'd be the easy genre to play bass, and it kind of is to a certain extent, but you really need to listen to the lyrics in the song to know where you are. There's, and it's if you make a mistake playing country music, everybody in the audience can hear it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People they can't hear the bass until you make a mistake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm playing bass tonight. Actually, I've got a gig with a Australian country band called Stars.
Oh yeah.
Featuring Mick Peeling.
Yep. Oh, great stuff. Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm playing bass with. Unfortunately, Roger McLaughlin passed away a year ago. Yesterday it was. I think it was, and he was the original bass player, and so I'm pretty much honouring Roger.
Oh, good.
In this tour that we're doing at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So where's promo the gig? Where is it tonight?
The gig's at a venue called the Arco Bar, which is down in Heatherton. We are near Moorabbin there, and I believe there's a few seats available still tonight if people are interested.
Okay.
We played there last night and the night before in Hepburn Springs.
Okay.
So this is our third show in a row. So we're nice and well rehearsed.
I imagine it would be.
Yeah, but it's actually a great lineup. There's three really exceptional guitar players. We've got Jeff Atchison on lead guitar,
right.
Ed Bates on pedal steel,
nice.
And another guitar player called Nick Charles on rhythm. So we've got fine guitar players all surrounding me. So yeah,
sounds like a great lineup. Who you got on drums?
Eric Chess is the drummer, and he was originally from Western Australia in a band called Body Motors back in the 90s, but he's a fantastic player too. The real song guy, if you know what I mean. He's, plays the song for
and, yep. Drives it.
I appreciate that with a drummer because sometimes drummers like to play drum solos.
I absolutely forbid it in my bands. Two things I don't let drummers do: solos and sing. That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
You've got enough to worry about. Play your drums and leave the rest to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Are you a bass player too, Harry?
No. I'm one of those guitar players you were talking about.
Oh no, that's good. Yeah,
I was. I haven't done it for a long time now since I took up my interest in radio because. I lost the love, but that's another story that I won't labour you with. But yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, in my experience, the rhythm section in any band is king. If you've got a good rhythm section behind you to drive you along, man, that is heaven on a stick.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's why I'm always in awe of a good bass player who knows how to work with a good drummer. That's teamwork at its best, in my view.
Absolutely. Yep.
All righty. Now we've only got a couple of minutes left before I need to sign off. But just quickly, what's next for you? Is there a new album coming out, or EP, or anything like that in the works?
Well, I've just released this single, so I've got about 3 or 4 songs that have been recorded.
Okay.
All up, I've got about 7 songs. I'm not really as prolific as I'd like to be.
Right.
I think once I've got 10 songs, I might look at compiling them into an album.
Okay.
But my last album I really set out to write an album, and this time I've just been doing one song at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll see once I've got 10 songs and see if they kind of fit together as an album, and then I'll release that. But So I'm just recording costs astronomical, as you probably know, and so I'm just trying to save up as much money as I can to get back in the studio and do some more work. I've tried to record from home as well if I can.
All right.
And then I've got a lot of musician friends who I can call on to come and play on the songs. And they send me files remotely as well, which has been fantastic. I've had great pedal steel guitar players like Shane Riley, for instance.
Okay.
He'll record stuff from home and send it to me, which is awesome. I love doing that.
Great.
So So in answer to that question, I hope to have an album out by the end of the year for sure.
Oh, I look forward to it. And I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. That'd be great.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
And chatting with you about it on air when it is released, because I like to promote Aussie artists, good Aussie artists like yourself. So
thank you.
That's what it's all about. All right, look, I'll sign off. Thank you so much, Jason, for taking the time to have this chat with me on your Sunday afternoon. And I've really enjoyed it. I look forward to doing it again sometime really soon. So, look after yourself, keep on doing what you're doing, and, we'll talk again soon.
Beautiful, Harry. Thanks so much, mate. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, absolutely. And, stay safe, look after yourself and the people you care about, and, we'll catch you down the track.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye for now.
See you, mate.